Hello and welcome to Conversations with Mystics. I'm your host, Maya Lila di Vento, and I am here today with my guest, Tina, who is a dear witch friend from Oregon. And she just did how many days was your juice fast?
It was a 40-day feast
Feast,
and
yes.
but I yes, juice feast. It was 40 days and I did 47.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I saw you posting about it, and I've only done, I think, a 3-day max, and I just remember feeling so good and not even wanting to eat anymore, like afterwards. But then, like, I did go back to eating. But I just wanted to hear, like, I've never done a 40-day like liquid feast or a cleanse of any kind, and yeah, I just want to hear about your experience and what kind of happened during this 47 days.
I want to start by saying I'm blessed to be here with you, Maya Lila. Thank you very much for reaching out to me. I'm honored to be here with you. Wow, what a journey. What a journey. It changed my life in so many ways. I mean, on a cellular level, I feel like I have a reset. Going into this, I was extremely ill on many fronts, lots of parts of my body were not happy. And I was tired of suffering and putting on this, the face of, oh,
Mm.
everything's fine. When inside, I was just in chronic pain. And so I just, I've tried all the things, and this is something I'd never tried. And I'll tell you what, juice will be a part of my life for the rest of my life. It is a lifestyle. 40 days wasn't enough. I did not want to go back to eating food. Like, even the thought of chewing is like, I don't need to. But let's be realistic, right? But I do juice every morning, and I will juice and fast for 1 week out of every month for the
Oh,
rest of my.
nice. I love
Yeah.
that. Okay. And then would you mind, and you don't have to, share what you're comfortable with, but just curious about like what was manifesting in your body as far as illness.
Oh boy, the shorter list would be the things that weren't going wrong with me. Chronic migraines and headaches, arthritis, major inflammation in all of my body. Really bad intestinal problems. I have many initials are
Hmm.
used to
Hmm.
IBS and EPI and EBV and all the things, just chronic pain. My food digestion was horrible. I had put on all of this weight too because I have malabsorption problems, my body hanging on to all the stuff it doesn't need and letting go of all the nutrients and the
Mm.
stuff it needs. So it completely reset everything for me.
Hmm. And what,
And
and so you were feeling shitty basically and lots of illnesses. And then what was the impetus? Like I know we have our friend Chris at True Juice in Oregon in Grants Pass
right,
where
yeah,
we're
shout
from.
out to Chris.
And but yeah, was there a catalyst for this, like for trying this?
Actually, yeah, Betty Kavanaugh. I give credit to her. Yeah, a dear friend of ours at Women's Group there at True Juice. And I give an extended thanks to Dragon Mama,
Mhm.
aka Tracy Lee, who is, I found out about her through Becky Kavanaugh. When Becky started her 40-day juice journey, it it caught my eye,
Mm.
and seeing her physical changes was enough for me to want to jump on board, having no idea that everything was going to happen at such an innate deep part, like every cell of my body. I had no idea. I thought, oh, I might lose a few pounds. The weight loss of almost 30 pounds, by the way, good, Tina,
Yeah.
um, was just a side effect. That was just an added bonus because the way that I'm feeling right now, you can't put words on, just this is what healthy feels like. This is what healthy looks like.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
And
you look radiant, you look light, you look just like full of
thank you.
joy. And I'm
Yeah,
interested too to hear about like the mental and emotional changes because I know that when I cut out things like refined sugar and coffee and gluten, like my whole mindset changes.
absolutely. Yeah, all those things and then some. I was starting to feel a little depressed because, my quality of life isn't what I had wanted. I had to plan everything around where the restroom was. And, I couldn't even go on a hike. I got to always have a calculation of I got to get back and there has to be a bathroom. I can't go camping or to the river unless there's a bathroom. Just
Mm.
all those things that people just really don't understand unless you're in that. And so I was just in such a dark place of constant chronic pain and the quality of life diminishing. It was enough for me to, and I mentally prepared myself for this for about 30 days. because I'd never done anything this intense before, as far as cutting out all foods for over a month.
Mhm.
So there was a lot of mental preparation, but for me, compared to many others I know that have done this, it was really effortless because my body was ready for it. Of
Yeah.
course, my mind preparedness too. I had the body mind connection was there, and every organ was ready to jump on.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm. And I think that's important. I just want to note that like I what I believe is everything is seasonal and bodies need different things at different times. And
mhm.
sometimes you need a raw juice cleanse and sometimes you need to just eat steak for a month. I did that once and that changed my life. Where all I
Yeah,
ate was like well, it was like steak and fats and honey and raw milk, raw dairy, and that was it.
yeah,
And it shifted a lot of stuff for me physically, emotionally. And so, I don't want to be like, this is the answer to everything, but it's like
exactly.
when it's the answer, it's the answer. And
Hmm.
again, that can be different things for different people at different times. And and I love too that, you know, when it's like that thing, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And like
Yeah,
when we're suffering and asking for help from the divine, from spirit, from our friends, we receive the support we need. And but it takes a lot of courage to commit to something like this, I think. Like once you start, it was easy, but was it hard? I mean, I guess you said you were ready, your body was ready. So
yeah, my body and my mind were both very well prepared. I was warned by, and everyone's journey is so
yeah.
individual, but Becky had told me, hey, the first 3 days, that's common sense, right? Yeah, you're going to struggle a little bit. Your body's going, what is going on or not
Mhm.
going on? I didn't have any of that. I honestly, to me, it was textbook perfect. Like I had no detox or withdrawal symptoms from any of the processed yucks that were collected in my body. I have not, didn't experience one hunger pain throughout the entire process.
Mhm.
I was on day 14 and I was like, okay, when's it going to get tough? Like,
Mhm.
um, and I've had, like I said, a handful of friends jump on and give it a college try. And they're just, I don't know how you're doing it.
Mm.
Again, the individuality. Now going back to food is causing me anxiety.
Mm.
So I'm trying to find the balance with, reintroduction of one food at a time. But yeah, it's I'm sorry, I think I lost my path there with the
Yeah.
question that you had asked.
So what I guess let's see. So did all of your health issues resolve kind of? And like what about the pain?
I- It's amazing. You don't realize how much, well, I didn't realize how much inflammation was. I mean, I knew a lot of my things are all inflammatory diseases. I don't have any autoimmune, but I do have a lot of inflammatory issues. And I didn't realize how much just the inflammation causes the pain. I mean, and so that started within like the first 48 hours. I started feeling everything like because I would be distended. My organs would be inflamed,
Yeah.
and I just felt my tummy going down and like on the inside, and it just was a very foreign feeling. But it took away, oh my, again, I have a laundry list of things. And so before I went in, before I started this journey, I might be getting blood work done every 3 months for as long as I can remember, trying to get a
Mhm.
handle on so many and I have a lot of things still undiagnosed that are mystery things, atypical as they say. But long story short is I was at this point, I was gotten so bad that my high blood pressure was so severe that I was on supplements. I don't do the Western medicines. Tried it, been there, did that. No, thank you.
Mhm.
But on supplements, my blood pressure was still about 152 over 93 on a good day
Mhm.
on supplements. Well, about 8 days into my feast, I started getting a little bit dizzy.
Mhm.
And I expected, okay, I don't have any food in me. But then I got really dizzy. And then I dawned on me, oh my gosh, I'm still taking my blood pressure supplement since I've been on this diet. And let's just say I took my blood pressure and it was 100, 100
Yeah.
over like 79. And I'm like,
Ugh.
okay, yeah.
And that
So
just it infuriates me because Western medicine is like, nope, there's no solution. You just have to take a pill for the rest of your fucking life. Or
exactly.
and it's just like, yeah.
Mm-mm. So I just took it upon myself because I know my body. I upped my Celtic sea salt intake in the morning. So I
Okay.
did 2 pinches instead of one to help elevate my blood pressure.
Hmm.
And I stopped taking my supplements.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I also, my thyroid was shutting down,
Hmm.
hence the weight gain and all the
Mm.
other yucky feelings and the no energy and the
Yeah.
chronic fatigue and all those things. And been taking supplements for my thyroid as well. I decided, you know what? I'm just going cold turkey.
Hmm.
I'm going to, for these 40 days, I'm not taking any of my supplements. I want to see what just the juice is doing to my body. I don't
Hmm.
want that to factor in at all. So I did. And I didn't even ask my naturopath. I just, again,
Hmm.
I'm my own advocate for me. And that's what I
Yeah.
chose to do. And I stopped taking everything. And on my 42nd day of being on the feast, I went into my naturopath and I said, I would like to get some new blood work.
Hmm.
And I explained to him what I had done. And when I walked into the office, they said, Hi, Tina, how are you today? And I'm like, I'm fucking awesome. And they're like, You're in a doctor's office. Nobody's fucking awesome. And she goes, I know this is your least favorite part, but let's get you on the scale. I said, with honors, I got on the scale and I down almost 30 pounds in 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she puts the cuff on me. And I did not disclose at this point that I was not taking my supplements anymore.
Yeah.
And she took my blood pressure, and we're talking 121/80, pretty much textbook,
Uh-huh.
and proceeded with my blood work, got all my blood work back, and every single thing. And again, they put us in this silly little box, right? Which
Yeah.
I've never fit in that box. But
Yeah.
in their boxes, I am perfect. Literally down the line. It comes in a beautiful chart now with
Yeah.
colors and everything. It's way friendly. And everything is in the middle of green all the way down.
Mm.
My doctor is so proud of me, and he is says that I've inspired him. And
Yeah.
I took charge, and I've healed my body. So
Yeah.
I'm no longer taking any supplements.
Yay. I love that. And I love that you can affect change by you taking charge and sovereignty over your own health and body. You
Hmm.
can now have this impact on a doctor who maybe in the future, instead of prescribing blood pressure meds, says, "Hey, this one woman did this and it totally worked and it's continuing to work. Maybe you could try this if you felt called to."
Yeah, he says, you're inspiring me. Like, could you give me the recipe? Like, what are you doing? And I said, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I gave him the recipe, and I said, don't share this with your clients, because if you do, you're going to be out of a job. I'm just going to say it like it is. Like, we're not going to need you anymore. So be careful who you share it with, but do your thing. So,
I love that. That's awesome.
yeah.
All right. So what is your recipe? Is there like one juice that you make or is it like a
There's
daily alteration?
No, you can do alterations, but I'm one of those girls. If it's not broken, don't fix it. And so the first juice that hit my lips was just right by me. I did kind of tweak the recipe throughout that 40 days, depending on my mood or whatever. Like sometimes I'd put a little more ginger, sometimes I wouldn't want it as hot, but kind of just every batch that I made, I kind of just went with whatever. It's like I'm Sicilian, so I cook the same way, right? I throw
Yeah.
in, I don't measure shit
And
and
you're a witch.
whatever.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
there you go. And there's that. So yeah, I just did it. So my recipe, of course, all organic vegetables. It is consists of 10 green apples,
Okay.
cored with skin on,
Uh-huh.
10 cucumbers, skin on, 4 lemons, peeled but juiced,
Mhm.
um, 2 bunches of parsley or cilantro, but I'm one of those girls that has that chromosome or whatever,
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
do cilantro. So I replace with parsley, 2 bunches of kale, 2 bunches of spinach. Did I say spinach? It's spinach, parsley, kale,
Uh-huh.
a whole pineapple, 2 thumbs of ginger,
Okay.
a thumb of turmeric, again
Uh-huh.
to your own taste.
Uh-huh.
And I put in about 4 stalks of celery.
Okay.
And
And this
I'm
is every
actually
day?
every day. That's I would juice that recipe that I just gave you would
Yeah.
would last me up to 3 days worth of food.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah,
it
that
makes
makes sense.
anywhere from 5 to 8 jars,
Okay.
5 to 7 jars.
Okay. And
And there's
that's yeah. That's
and
everything.
there's yeah, it's delicious. It's delicious. I also after about 2 weeks, I started throwing in some chia seeds too in each one of
Okay.
my jars, like
Okay.
a
Yeah.
tablespoon of chia seeds.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's just been it's
Mm.
sustaining me, and I've had so many people like, well, how are you getting your protein? You can't go 40 days.
Mm.
um and I learned from Becky and Dragon Mama, and just doing my own research, that our bodies make protein. We don't have to take it from animals.
Mm. Mm.
Vegetables, of course, have some trace amounts of protein in them, spinach probably being the most in my menu, but um if you're having enough, if your body is alkaline enough and you have enough amino acids, you're
Mhm.
going to make your own protein. So at this point, I feel like my body is making more protein internally than a person who's having 3 steaks in a day.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Interesting. Yeah.
and so the protein factor is my body's making what it needs.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. And yeah, I love the variety because a lot of times,
Mhm.
like when I think juice cleanse, I'm like, okay, like, kale, beet, like a few things, but not like so many different like varieties that I just imagine covers the gamut of like all the
Oh,
nutrients, all the colors, like,
so, so good. And literally, when I drink it, I could feel my cells smile. Like
mhm.
literally, when it's in my mouth, like something inside of me lights up. And I
Yeah.
just, oh, it's such a
Yeah.
beautiful feeling.
And that's the interesting thing is most of us in Western society are like overfed and malnourished because we're
Right.
eating just food-like substances that aren't even real food, that don't have any nutritional value, that have been over processed and just stripped of everything
Right.
medicinal and healing and healthy. And so I can imagine like the body's reaction after being probably
Yeah.
nutritionally starved for most of, your life
I,
and our lives.
I
Yeah.
definitely feel more satiated drinking my food than I do eating it.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to prior to this juice, my intestinal walls are so damaged that again the malabsorption, so with the juice it gave my intestinal tract time to heal and to relax and to
Mm-hmm.
calm
Mm-hmm.
and regrow and repair. And so just giving my intestines that time has just made such a drastic change in my processing of food and how I feel. Like again, I'm people that don't even know me, the word glowing is in my ear like every day. Like
Yeah.
people, you're glowing. My
Yeah.
husband's like, you haven't looked this radiant since you were pregnant with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm creeping up on 60 and I feel like I'm aging in reverse being on this juice. My
Mm-hmm.
energy level is through the roof. I mean, again, I have chronic fatigue syndrome, another 3 initials you could slap on my resume.
Yeah.
And that has helped my insomnia. I was taking sleeping pills, Western medicine sleeping pills,
Mm-hmm.
prescription, just to get sleep because my insomnia is so, so, so severe. Don't need those anymore either. I'm sleeping like a baby, like waking up in a puddle of drool. It's so sexy to wake up and drool.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I love that. And
Yeah.
yeah, and one of the reasons I want to talk to you is because so I'm living in Southeast Asia. I'm currently in Vietnam.
Okay.
And
Yes.
I have had diarrhea now for like 4 or 5 months because back in January, like I got diarrhea, and so then I went to a Chinese medicine doctor and like had a stool test, and they're like, okay, you have this parasite, and I was like, okay, and they're like, take this antibiotic, and I've taken antibiotics once in the last 13 years, and I tried to stay away from them for obvious reasons. But I was like, okay, and this is like an amoeba or a parasite that can like liquefy your liver. So I was like, I'll just take the fucking antibiotics. And
Right.
so I
Yeah.
took the antibiotics and the diarrhea didn't stop. And so I go back to the doctor and they're like, well, maybe you have irritable bowel syndrome. And I'm like, I don't fucking have these
See
acronyms.
what they
Like,
do?
yeah. And I was just like, no, like I obviously have shit going on from being here in Southeast Asia. So, and I was living in Thailand at this point, and I was like leaving for Vietnam. And so I was just like, okay, like I'll take more probiotics. They're like, maybe it's the antibiotics that are giving you diarrhea now, or like what? They're like, they didn't know. And I was just like, okay,
They
fine. Because
don't
they're
know.
like, they took another stool sample. They're like, the parasite is cleared. So I was like, okay. So I get to Bangkok, and then I had like all this visa issues getting into Vietnam. So we got stuck in Bangkok for 2 weeks. But I was like, okay, Bangkok is a big city. I'll go to a hospital here. So I went to this like really like nice, expensive, like palatial Japanese, hospital and got another stool test. And so they're like, okay, like you have this other, and I don't remember which one I had first. Like I think first I had an amoeba and then I had a parasite. And so they give me another round of antibiotics. And again, like at this point, I'm like weeks into diarrhea every day. So I'm just like, fine, like I'll take again another fucking round of antibiotics. Took the other round, still had diarrhea. And now I was in Vietnam and friends had ivermectin, which is like an
Yeah. Horse
anti-worm.
tranquilizer. No, yeah. But antibiotic or yeah.
Well, no, it's actually a very effective like
Wormer.
anti-parasite. Yeah. And so I was just like, okay, I'll take that and took that and still had diarrhea. And so I've been in Vietnam now for a few months and I just haven't gone to the doctor. And I've been trying, like cloves and oregano and papaya seeds and garlic and like just trying different things to see, if I can clear out whatever is in there. And
right?
no, and like nothing's worked still. And I've been feeling called to do some kind of like fast or cleanse. And so that was
Hmm.
partially why I wanted to talk to you about the juice cleanse because like I know how I've felt in the past on it. And I feel like and I have a friend who I should probably talk to her next. She does 40-day water fasts where she just
Oh,
drinks water for 40 days, which I'm just like, that's like mind blowing. But she's like, for her, like, it's been
right.
this amazing, like, spiritual experience and
Hmm.
gotten her to like very high levels of clarity and consciousness from what I can see.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of that for me too on this juicing process. Yeah, again, there's not one area of my life that it hasn't positively affected
mhm, mhm,
doing this. And the parasites is another thing. Like when I was about 14 days into this, I started passing all that mucoid plaque
mhm,
from
mhm,
your intestines that I didn't even know was a thing. And
mhm,
I started, all these things were coming out of me. So
mhm.
I released parasites. I released, all that mucus that was just built up in there. And if I can get really graphic and
Yeah,
gross,
go, let's go.
this is insane. So I'm not a big corn eater. It's just not my thing. But
Yeah,
I do an occasionally like an ear of corn.
yeah.
And so I think I was about 3 weeks in, 12 days ish in on my cleanse.
Uh-huh.
And I go to the bathroom and out comes 4 corn kernels. And we all know how corn digests or doesn't.
Yeah.
But I sat there and I went, wait a minute. Wait a minute. When is the last time I had corn? It was 4 months.
Holy shit.
The last time I could recall eating corn was 4 months prior to me juicing.
Yeah.
So that's 4 months and a couple weeks. And it finally worked its way out of my intestinal wall. That right there was enough for me to go, this is for me. Like,
Yeah.
that's just fucking disgusting. I'm carrying around corn in my pockets. It's just fucking wrong. So, juice all the way.
Yes, I love it. I've
Even went on
never,
a podcast
there's
talking
no,
about corn in my poop. Leave it to
yeah,
Tina.
yeah, 14 days into a juice cleanse. And
No,
yeah,
no filter.
no, well, there's no TMI for me. I'm like, I want to know everything. Like, so I'm
Right?
not like at this point in my life, like there's nothing too dark or too disgusting. Like, and
Yeah.
also I work, I mean, this is not related, but I work in trauma. And so I've helped people process some horrible things. And I'm just like, who cares? Like who if whether it's disgusting bowel movement stuff or like trauma, it's like it's all accepted here. Like I'm shameless. Like let's just
Right?
shame off the table. Fuck shame.
That's it. That's it. We're in good company.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I had another question. So, and yeah,
Just,
I guess I wanted to talk about like I know personally for me, I have a huge like I notice a huge difference in my emotional mental state when I cut out refined processed foods.
hmm.
And at this point in my spiritual journey, I didn't used to believe in entities and we know the world is fucked up and shit, but like at this point in my life, just from my own embodied experience and experimenting with my body and foods and different spiritual practices, I believe that pretty much anything made in a factory and especially like refined sugar is
Mm,
actually programmed with either entities or like evil spells or something. Because when I eat refined sugar, and I don't know until I stop eating it for an extended amount of time, for like 3 days or more,
yeah.
and it's in everything. But when I eat
Hmm.
refined sugar, it's almost like there's like this demon in my head or an entity in my head or like this voice of like rumination and fear. And it's just that, that doubt, fear, rumination thing. And I know we can
Hmm.
explain it scientifically to like the gut and dopamine and serotonin and blah, blah, blah. And like science is great. And I feel like there's more to the ways that, especially Americans, but now around the entire fucking globe, the way that humans are being poisoned by the food system
Yeah.
and the medical system and the
Oh,
government and like all of it. And I feel
all
like
the systems.
it's
Hmm.
intentional poisoning and also energy harvesting. And I have these
I
conversations
agree.
with friends who are, again, like witches, psychics in the spiritual realm. We're very intuitive. We're not afraid anymore of being burned at the stake. So we're going to talk about all this stuff that people are like, well, that's kind of crazy. And it's like, yeah, this shit is real. And what's
Yeah.
crazy is that we live in a society that pretends like none of it's real. It says, oh, that's woo woo, that's energy, that's spirit stuff. That's not, God doesn't exist, ancestors don't exist, spirit, past lives don't exist, blah, blah. It's like, no, like that's the lie. So
Right.
what and yeah, I guess like what has been your experience again going off of all processed foods for such a long time?
The clarity is unbelievable. That's another thing that really improved, not only, I've got menopausal fog brain, and the memory's gotten kind of concerning, this whole journey with getting older as a woman is, boy, we don't, we get nailed from every side. And so
And not in a
that's
good
been
way.
a huge, exactly. Yeah, not that kind of nailed. Yeah, my clarity, not just like in my thought processes, but in my goals, my dreams, my life, my motivation. Like things are such more crisp. It's like when you put your readers on, it's like, whoa, everything comes into focus and you can see. And it's been a huge, I was really surprised. I mean, it makes sense, right? When you think about your body being your temple and what you put into it and how, it adds all that muck and all those layers of stuff that when you're the more pure, the more eating cleaner and eating raw, uh, it I didn't realize how much it would affect my spirituality and what I do for a living. I'm a Reiki master, and my Reiki, since I have started this juicing, is a whole new ballgame. I mean, I went to the jungles of Costa Rica to get my master's, and I've my business is going wonderful. Everything's great. I'm now teaching classes. Like everything is doing really, really well. But my healing, since I have cleared my channels, I've cleared my
Yeah.
spiritual body and my physical body. It
Yeah.
cleared my spiritual body. And I'll tell
Mhm.
you what, the downloads, I'm now working with the animal totems and spirit animals are coming through. I'm channeling these animals. It started about 8 months ago. I didn't at first. I thought I was really losing my fucking mind when it first started happening. Like, why is a cougar all of a sudden here? But like all these things are opening up within me now. And like even just igniting my Reiki, like I used to always feel my hands get warm and feel the energy come flowing through and all that. It is, wow, it is so intense now. Like if
The
I ignite
power.
Reiki, yeah,
Yeah.
just it's amazing. I mean, again, my common sense mind figured, oh, this is going to help, but I didn't realize to the extent my clients that have been with me for a duration or even saying like Tina, like I don't know, it was already good and now it's better, like
Yeah.
because everything's just working optimally. So my meditations are deeper, my dreams are more vivid,
Mhm.
my connection with my guides is
Mhm.
more intimate and strong. Everything is like the veil has been lifted, and boy, girl,
Ah.
I'm on fucking fire. Let me just tell you, I'm on fire. Literally, like, look, it's
Yeah.
tattooed on me. I'm on fire.
Yay. Yes. And that's been my experience with stopping eating specifically refined sugar and coffee and alcohol and gluten into a lesser extent. But
Right,
when I cut personally, and I think people have different triggers. Like for another friend who's very psychically connected, hers is corn. She has this like kind of like addictive relationship with corn, and when she eats it, it cuts her spiritual or it dampens her spiritual
right.
connection. And that's how I feel with refined sugar is that it lowers my
Your
connection to
vibration.
source. It lowers my
Yeah,
vibration. It cuts, it severs my, and alcohol absolutely does this again, like
right.
industrially produced alcohol, which I'm on a mission. I'm actually moving to Georgia, the country of Georgia after this. And they have a whole sacred wine making by hand practice. It's the birthplace of wine. And there's also deep, like goddess and divine feminine connections there. It's a whole weird journey I'm being led down, and it's anyways. But
How
I feel like
exciting.
there's a way to work with wine in a sacred context, but
Oh, yeah.
reintroducing herbs and psychedelics and other things that they've removed from wine.
Yeah.
But yeah, in my experience, refined sugar cuts me off from my clarity and my spiritual connection and my power.
Mm-hmm.
And my healing powers are augmented when I'm eating clean. I call it like the mystic diet of just like
There you
not
go.
eating all the shit in the
Yeah.
refined stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, the thought was there, but I did not. ever realize it would be this grand. And it's just,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it's even my relationship with my husband, like everything around me. I mean, my life was already juicy and delicious, but
Yeah.
now it's just like, what a shift, an energetic shift in everything. So yeah, I mean, this was a win-win-win-win-win-win for me.
Yeah, amazing. And the other thing I've noticed is because I've struggled with sugar addiction for my entire life, basically. And if I'm not eating it, I realize how good I feel and how connected and clear and on fire and everything. But once I start again, then the veil drops and
Yeah.
I forget how
Hmm.
how connected I was when I wasn't eating it. And then I'm like, oh, and then you're in the sugar train. Yeah.
And that's kind of, and that for me, it's not so much sugar because I'm actually allergic to sugar. I almost
Mhm.
died a few years back as a result of an undiagnosed sugar intolerance, but that's a whole nother
Interesting.
podcast episode.
Yeah. Which like
um,
maybe I'm allergic to sugar and that's why it kind of fucks me up so much.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I went septic. I almost died. It was intense. But with there I go again. I guess my menopause brain just kicked back in because I went off and then I lost my thought.
I was talking about how the veil drops for me when I start eating
Oh,
sugar again.
yes.
Yeah.
That has been, and again, I don't want to use the word anxiety, but I keep going to that word. I have
Hmm.
to figure out the word that's correct. But going back to eating food has been a challenge
Hmm.
because of just that,
Hmm.
because I don't want to slowly but surely ever backslide to ever be in even a close place to where I was.
Mm.
I never want to feel those feelings again. I never want to have those limitations on my body again. I never want to take those supplements again.
Hmm.
And I'm not going to. And
Hmm.
so that's been a real thing for me because I'm Sicilian. I'm a foodie. I love food. I love
Yeah.
cooking food, smelling food, growing food, making food.
Yeah.
But so for me, how I'm doing it, and again, this is just because it's what my body is telling me to do, is I'm introducing foods one at a time. I'm
Mm-hmm.
keeping a serious food journal
Mm.
and I'm going to eat that one. So I started with watermelon was the first thing I actually chewed after my juice.
Hmm.
Figured out it's going to be easy on my
Hmm.
intestinal tract, tons of hydration. I love it. It's my favorite melon.
Hmm.
Um, did that for 3 days, journaling, like,
You're
nothing that was
basically you're doing science.
reintroducing things one at a time back so
Yeah.
that if I, like, even if I just had a salad, what if I had a reaction to that salad? I'm not going to know which one of the vegetables caused the gas or the bloating or
Mm.
the headache or whatever. So
Yeah.
by keeping track of that, it's going to be really simple for me to be able to go, okay, negative side effect, that food will never be eaten by me again in my
Hmm.
my no fly list, like never again.
Yeah.
And so it's a slow process getting back to eating, but
Hmm.
it's the only way that I feel is going to be easy on my body and at the same time avoid any more intolerances or allergies to food and really knowing what my body can tolerate and accept.
Yeah.
So it's I think for me the juicing was the easy part. It's this part that's more
Mm.
challenging.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's harder for me to try to like straddle the gap, like black or white. Like if I'm absolutely
yeah,
not doing it, it's easy. But
I'm the
once
same
I'm
way.
like half in, half out, then it's like it takes so much more energy. And I just also want to say like I fully support you in doing you and in my own experience, sometimes my body doesn't want a certain food during a certain season or time of my
Hmm.
life. And then a few years down, my body is in a different state, or it's wanting some other nutrient or whatever property from a food. And so,
Right?
like, I might not want watermelon for a few years, and all of a sudden, I have a fucking watermelon craving. And so, I think it's
Yeah.
important to like highlight, like, pay attention and like, use your mind and pay attention to your body, but also like intuitively eating. Once, especially when you're in a healthy state, not when you're in an unhealthy state and your mind can hijack the intuition and be like, oh, we need a donut today. Which like sometimes
Right.
for comfort and if that's where you're at and you need a donut, that's fine. Like you don't have to shame it. But the intuitive eating, I think, again, like humans are meant to be seasonal, migratory, like, eating a lot of fucking watermelon during
Right.
July and then not
Yeah.
eating watermelon in December,
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that's too another thing is that connection because I'm really my theme right now is self-love. I like most of us women, we're nurturers, we're givers, we're caretakers. I'll give you everything, but receiving for me is so difficult, right? You feel me? We
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah.
And So yeah, why is it so easy to give and so hard to receive? And so that's been my last. I just did my vision board a couple months ago, and like this is my thing. It's all about self love, and I keep telling myself I love my body, and my body loves me back
Yes.
because I've been like this with my body for decades. We're fucking enemies and we hate each other, and I'm over it.
Yeah.
And so this for me again with the clarity and my open channels and everything, I'm able to really like sit, meditate on, ignite my Reiki and really meditate on asking my body and my organs individually, like, what can I do for you today? Like,
Mm.
what do you need? It's reciprocity, right? I want to give to this temple so it gives back all these feelings that I'm currently feeling, right? The joy, the excitement of life, the not having to run to the bathroom and all these things.
Yeah.
And so, like, for 4 or 5 days, because I said I'm not eating meat for a while. Definitely, I'm
Mhm.
taking things slow. But man, I'll tell you what, for the last couple weeks, I've been craving fish. I've been telling my
Mhm.
friends, like, my body wants fish, my
Yeah.
body. But then I was afraid to go there because it's meat in a
Mm.
sense, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and I and I sat with myself last week and I said, okay, what are we doing about the fish, man? What are we doing here? I went and bought myself a beautiful piece of swordfish.
Hmm.
Everyone said, oh, you should eat the white flaky. No, my body wants a piece of fucking swordfish. So that's
Yes.
what I'm going to get. Probably the richest, heaviest fish there is, but that's what my body wants. And I savored that thing like one flake at a time. Like, and my body was so grateful afterward. And
Wow.
today I asked my body because I could change foods, and I'm kind of just now letting my body take the lead
Mhm.
instead of what my rational mind says, like, oh,
Yes.
I probably shouldn't try Brussels sprouts yet because
Mm.
they're gassy and they're bloating. But the other day, my body wanted a Brussels sprouts. So
Yes,
that's what I
yes, I
made.
love this. Yes.
And guess what? Today, my body wanted. It's my first regret. It's the first thing on my no list.
Uh-huh.
I, and I should have, I wanted beans. I
Uh-huh.
had beans. I don't want beans anymore. I
Okay.
feel so bloated. Again, they're beans,
Yeah.
but just this brief feeling of bloat again has been
Mm.
foreign to me now for 50 something
Mm-hmm.
days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
And
I don't
and
know.
maybe that was perfect as a reminder of where you were to re-clarify, recommit, realign with like, no, like I want this feeling. Did you put ginger in the beans?
I did.
Okay. Because that
Yeah.
was at an ashram I lived at. It was all like it wasn't vegan, it was vegetarian for the year. And they would always be like, put the ginger in the beans to try to help with the flatulence. But yeah,
Yeah.
like I love that you were still willing, like despite the anxiety, because a lot of people, especially women, when they go into that control mode, they'll be like, I'm never having this again. Absolutely not. Instead
Right.
of being willing to take the risk of like
Yeah.
finding out where that boundary is.
Right. But yeah, lots of communication within, and it's been wonderful. I thought, I'm in tune with my body, I know myself, and I was, but I have a different relationship with myself now
Mm.
internally. And this again is another bonus I didn't see coming.
Yeah. And I love that. I love the bonuses that you don't even, it's not like it's what's it called? The placebo effect. Because like
Right.
you didn't even know. And I know when I started oil pulling, which is
Mm.
like an Ayurvedic practice with coconut oil or sesame or whatever, and you swish oil in your mouth for like
Yeah, I
15,
do
20
that.
minutes. And I don't remember why I started doing it initially, if it was for, I think I had like receding gums. And then I started swishing. And then after a few days, I had a sensitive tooth and the tooth wasn't sensitive anymore. And I was like, huh, like why isn't my tooth sensitive? And then I researched and it's like this can also like, disinfect infected teeth and it can take away sensitivity and it can whiten your, it's like all of these other things I had no idea about. So it wasn't like a placebo because I didn't know. And it's
Right.
like this actually works. Like this shit actually does stuff and works and is healthy for our body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, I I'm actually at a point now where I'm so grateful that I was in the amount of pain and
Hmm.
discomfort that I was to get me here, because maybe if I wasn't, I wouldn't have lasted 5 days, or and I would
Yeah.
have. But
Yeah.
it timing is everything, and
Hmm.
I can't thank Becky enough for just posting on Facebook so that I saw her, and now people see my posts
Yes.
like yourself, and
Yeah.
here I am. I mean, it's People,
Yeah.
and again, it's whatever your body needs. But my body was really ready for some
Yeah,
juice.
and what you're called to, because I feel like we're often called to things that are for us. Like I've been
Hmm.
called in the past to like a I don't remember what it's not, it wasn't full carnivore because we still had, there was still fruit, but I was just called to that. And in that time, it was perfect. And it was so, like, I was like, you're all the things you're describing on your juice cleanse, I got in that 1 month of like animal-based eating. Like
Hmm.
I was super fucking attuned spiritually, my intuition, I'm like my psychic abilities kicked on super crazy, and like all this stuff was going on. And I was eating meat. But I was eating grass fed. I was eating a lot of locally grown cows that weren't abused. It was like, yeah, a lot of people think, oh, well, you can't eat meat and be spiritual. And it's like, sometimes you can, and sometimes that's
Yeah.
what your body needs. And I just always want to encourage people to really, like you're doing, listen to your body and be open. And when I started doing that animal-based diet, after the first week or two, when I was like on fire and feeling amazing, I was like, okay, like, is this it? Is this what I do for the rest of my life? Because then it's easy. And my nutritionist was like,
Right.
nope, you do this for this, but not forever. And it was
Yeah.
very clear, like this what you're doing now to heal some things and to shift some things is not forever. And I was like, damn it, okay. And yeah, yeah, it would be
Yeah.
easy
I
if it was
am though.
just one thing forever, but
I am going to juice a week out of a month for the rest of my life just to
yeah,
keep that reset button, to keep,
yeah.
I mean, things accumulate and all of that. But from here on out, I'm looking at food a whole different way. And I mean, like I said, I'm in love with myself right now. I'm caring
Mm-hmm.
for myself,
Hmm.
and it shows, and it feels so fucking good. Like,
Yeah.
oh, so good.
And also humans historically, they would go for a week or two without food at certain
Hmm.
points. Or like you kill a bison, you eat bison for a week and then you don't eat bison for maybe a few months. Like, it isn't like the systems that we've created, while they have benefits and there is good to them, there's a price, and it's not natural, like the way that we eat now and the foods that we eat. And just like even having watermelon, access to watermelon in December for those of us who are from like northern lands, like that's not the body. It's hard on the body, like the
Yeah,
systems and the
I
world that
agree.
we live in. And there's so much pressure, like peer pressure of like, because most people have a very dysfunctional unconscious relationship with food. And so I find, when I have done periods of no sugar, like people are like, oh, but don't you want some cake? Or we're celebrating this birthday, or but well, just like and there's like this interesting peer pressure to try to get you to conform to the norm.
Exactly. Yeah, don't fall for it.
Yeah, I'm like, I know you
Just
don't have
drink
a
your
problem with
juice.
this because you're very much your own person. But I think that's hard on a lot of people
Hmm.
to stick with what they know is true when everyone else is saying, is it true? Maybe it's not true. Maybe you should just have some cake.
Yeah, I've had so many friends. Like I've been out to dinners with friends during this journey, and I bring my little mason jar. We went to the winery, and I poured my juice in a wine glass, and it looks all beautiful. And I haven't had a problem. My friend's like, "Oh, I feel so bad." I'm like, I could look at your food, I could admire it, I could smell it, and then I can remember how that food made me feel, and I'm
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got my juice. You eat your whatever that is, and we're good. Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm going to Hawaii in a few days, so I'm really excited to continue my journey there because talk about fruits, right? And good food and
Pineapple.
fresh fish.
Yes. Oh
So,
my God. Yeah, the best, like some of the best food I've had. I lived in Maui and on the Big Island for a while, and the pineapples, like you can't get pineapples here like
no,
they are
these are
there.
not,
It's
no.
a different thing. The pineapples are like out of this world. And then the best fish I've had in my entire life was so in Maui, I couch surfed with this guy he'd born and raised Maui. And he one day we were driving somewhere and he pointed at this guy sitting on a corner with a cooler. And he's like, you see that guy? He has the best fish. Like come early in the morning and you can get fish, because this guy would go fishing every night and he would supply the local sushi restaurants with fish. And then he would sell what he had left for like $6 a
Oh,
pound for like maki maki, like insane
ooh,
prices. And so we got some fish and I think we just ate it raw. And it was like, it was so good and amazing. And the body was just like yum. And it was like butter. Like it was just amazing. So yeah, I'm
So
excited.
yeah, I'm looking forward to my food journey there and
Yeah.
introducing some things there.
Yeah. All right. So to close up. So what does it like your juicing days on the program? So in the morning you juice,
Mhm.
like does it take an hour to like juice all of these
No,
things?
the recipe that I gave was enough for 3 days worth of food. So I'm only
Okay.
juicing a couple times a week. And
Okay.
so I've got all, actually, when I'm done here, guess what I'm doing? You know it, juicing. Um, Yeah, so I make my juice. You should have seen the first time I did it. My sons were laughing at me. I mean, I had pulp in my hair. There's shit on the ceiling. There's spills and fruit husks and rinds and cores, and it looked like a fucking bomb went off in the produce aisle. My kitchen was wrecked. It took me like I think 3 hours and then another hour to clean it up. I'm like, I can't do this every other day or whatever. But I'll tell you what, I real quick learned a system. I've got it down. It now takes me about 38 minutes and some
Okay,
change
what's your
to get my
system? What's your system?
it's just my OCD brain and how I sort my vegetables and stack them and mixing the dries with the wets. I found like
Uh,
putting too much spinach in at
yeah.
a time would clog my thing, and then you got to take it out and take it apart. So now it's like I'll throw in some spinach and then I'll throw in a cucumber,
Yeah.
or they'll throw in the kale and then some or lemons, and so I'm alternating the dry. So just learning those little techniques
Yeah.
to make it, and cleaning. I'm much better now. It's not like all in my hair and on the walls. So it started off to be a lot more treacherous, but I've got it down now. So it's a pretty simple thing.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I just, so I'll make my juice.
Mhm.
It lasts anywhere from 3 to 4 days.
Mhm.
And again, there's no quota on how many ounces you should or shouldn't drink. It's just like food. You go to it when you're called to it. And so some
Okay.
days I was fully satiated on just one mason jar, and other days I drank three. So it's actually way more filling than you would think.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I used to eat like once a day
Mm.
prior to the juicing because I didn't enjoy food anymore because it would run right through me and I'd have pain in the process.
Mm.
And so, like, my son's like, Mom, you're eating better now by juicing than you have eaten in the last 10 years on just eating, because I'm not absorbing any of the nutrients, anyways, when I was just chewing it, even if it was raw and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So, this way, I got it all. So, yeah, I feel way more nourished now with no solids in my body than I ever did eating food.
Mm-hmm. And I love that you have, again, the scientific proof of your blood tests of being in the
Oh, yeah.
green in the middle and
Mm-hmm.
your blood pressure and off all of your meds, like supplement meds, but
Right.
still.
Yeah. Still, yeah, with no help, just doing my own thing. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I knew I'd see improvement, but I didn't realize I'd be like picture perfect textbook on all fronts.
Yeah.
So it
Amazing.
worked for me, anyways.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for sharing
Thank you, Maya
your
Leah.
juice feasting journey. I love that juice feasting. And yeah, I'm inspired. I'll check my intuition and meditate on it, but I'm inspired to like go out and just buy a fucking juicer because again, like I've been struggling with diarrhea every day pretty much
Honey,
for
and I feel your
four
pain.
or
I
five
feel
months.
your pain.
Yeah.
Decades. I spent decades in your shoes or in your pants or however you want to look at it.
On your toilet. Yes.
Yes, on your toilet. And I really send you Reiki love and energy and
Thank
healing
you.
your intestinal tract because it's no fun.
And that's the
No
thing
fun.
is like I feel fine. Like the whole time I haven't had any pain. Like now it's getting a little more uncomfortable, like bloaty sensation, which I don't like. But like I've been hydrated the whole time. I still feel like, my energy's fine. Like I look good. Like everybody's like you're glowing, and I'm like yeah, like because like I have my life is amazing right now, but I have had diarrhea forever. And I feel like it's a calling for me to get super fucking clean, where the universe is
Yeah.
just like, stop fucking around with like
Mm.
sometimes having coffee and sometimes having the sugar and sometimes having da da da. And so I feel like I'm being called to like really clean my
Take
shit
it
up
serious.
and take it serious.
Literally.
Literally
Yeah.
clean my shit up and take it seriously. And I'm like, okay, I know when I finally lock in, it's gonna be amazing and an improvement on all levels. But it's just like for me, that shifting out of the
Right.
old life and being in the veil and like in the cloud and getting out of that is always a
Oh,
huge
man.
hurdle for me.
Well,
So
I wish you the best of luck. And I know whatever this journey looks like for you, you're going to do great and you're going to feel great.
yes.
You look fabulous. It's so
Thank
good to
you.
see your beautiful face. Oregon misses you desperately, but continue living this beautiful life of yours so we can all live vicariously through you in other lands.
Wow, thank you. Yes, I
And
will continue sharing. Yeah.
thank you for reaching out to me and asking me to be on your podcast today. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing. And
Absolutely.
we'll talk again soon.
All
Bye.
right, my dear.